morning, fellow patriots and defenders of democracy. Welcome to the shitbox ride. Woo. Alright. It's been an interesting week. I'm crawling along because I'm going up this hill. And I don't feel like stopping and playing stop and go in my car that's tuned with 500 horsepower on this hill. Because most of the people that are driving automatics will crawl up on your ass because they assume everybody's driving an automatic, which will make the weird rollback within having a high-power tuned engine on the road a little bit sketchy. So it's kind of like, eh. And that will be the first thing that I'm going to say on a list of things you should consider when building your project car that you think you want to drive around. The notion of it is nice. It's great. Car weighs 2,700. Car weighs 2,700 pounds. Why wouldn't I want to drive around on the goddamn road with 500 wheel horsepower, thinking that I can take on the world? Well, part of that wonderful scenario is traction. If the car's 2,700 pounds, if you really step into it, you don't have that much traction. Which makes making it a daily, kinda, amongst other things, I'm none of, what is that guy who's on Motor Trend? Randy? Whatever his name is? I'm not him. So, as confident as I might want to think I am, I'm not that goddamn good. Now, because it's a wonderful week of driving around, because I'm being lazy and people don't want to ship parts like they should, I'm waiting for some RCAs for my lower ball joints, which makes putting the lower ball joints that came in on the car kind of pointless. Then you're gonna put it back on the car, you gotta take it back off the car. It's kind of like, who knows? But for future enthusiasts that seem to think they're going to build a car, the second thing you might want to consider while building a car is creature comforts. It's cool, you got the big engine, you didn't overlook the brakes, you upgraded the suspension, you have the great tires. Now, after driving your car for a week, you're gonna notice some of the things they pay all those high-priced engineers for, you, in your infinite stupidity, didn't think about. For most people with project cars, it's called heating and cooling inside the car. It is, in my logic, I was like, car will spend its life in Georgia. I'm not worried about it. It's currently 37 degrees outside. That's why I'm here looking like Tyrone Biggums. 37 degrees outside feels like 32 degrees outside, which is freezing. AKA, for Canadian friends, it's cold. I'm not sure what the Celsius is. I think it should be at 0 by then, but tomato, I haven't brushed up on my science as of late. It's cold, fam. Don't do it to yourself. Don't you do it to yourself. Don't you do it to yourself. Put heat in the car. This is almost like cycling. Everybody's like, oh, why don't you go riding outside? It's 60 degrees out. It's a good day. It's like, yeah, that sounds lovely until you're going 15 miles an hour and the wind is blowing in your face. It's like, oh, but you'll warm up. It's like, says someone who's never really outside doing anything. It's cold. Cold. Oh yeah. After a while you might want some music. So figure out how valuable entertainment is to you. Ain't no entertainment in theory, you're supposed to be listening to the wonderful bellows of the engine. Guess what? After about 70 miles, you'll only want to hear the blow-off sounds and pulling past somebody in their minivan so many times. Put something to entertain yourself in this car. Don't have ABS in it. Don't write checks your ass can't cash. Don't you do it to yourself. Going 75. This 3,200 RPM. If you say anything in this car right now, it'll go into boost, which is cool when you want to race. But I don't want to race. I'm just trying to get to where I'm going to get back. Goes into something else that we don't even think about when we're building these cars. In the event you want this bad boy to have any semblance of not stopping for gas every time you go outside, think about the gear ratios a little bit more keenly. Granted, this is a miles per gallon thing. I'm just trying to say, in the event you want to bring the thing to the what is that? As some form of reliable driving thing, don't. Keep all of these little variables in mind. Fun to be in the left lane, not even the left lane, it's like being in the right lane, watching everybody drive by you under the premise that they're really going to outrun you. Just enjoy the cruise, man. When you're out on the road, don't be that guy. Don't be on the road being a douche all the time. Look at that. We are here. White GS, pearl white, semi-moldy. I don't know how it got in this condition, but headlights are in pretty decent shape. These are the old models though. Look like somebody just refreshed the suspension. new. So yeah. Somebody else is here being a scavenger like the rest of us. The interior don't even look that bad. I'm talking about in terms of color and wear, since this car is, what, possibly a 2001? It says 20 years old. As I look at the button things, they don't even seem super worn, except this. So yeah. This is all here. Oh no, old school fender. Oh yeah. The madness of it all. Hit on this side, the junkyard rules. Always look at a vehicle that looked like it came in here when it was driving. This is what we came for. So, for all intents purposes, we now need to get the hell up out of here. We all in this together. Stay the fuck away from me though. Yeah, what's going on, fellas? I don't know how I managed to delete the video, but this is what's going on. So, items that were serviced, brand new. I don't remember what this is properly called. However, you see all the bolts that's required to service all of these things. Back here, new lower ball joint. Didn't clear that out. You should also be able to see new RCAs. This is inserted in here to offset some geometry issues that I'm looking forward to resolving. New item. Where is that? Upper control arm replaced. We're looking into resolving how to approach replacing the coilovers. The other issues that was highlighted within this to compensate for the RCA that's there is the adjustability of the coil, and apparently trying to clean off old coils to adjust them is quite a task, and it doesn't seem like that's going to go over well, but that's the way that is in regards to what's going on. As why I didn't just bolt this all back up. I'm looking into putting a big brake kit on here. So that's going on. Yeah, so did the side that was damaged, and of course since you did that side, also you gotta repair things in pairs because suspension items. Upper, again, I took out this coilover because it looked like it was easier to deal with, and I thought it would be easier to possibly try to adjust to compensate for the RCA that's here, the spacer, to fix some geometry issues that I'm thinking that might develop. And no, it was not easier. So that's what's going on there. So yeah, items needed to essentially change out most of this. Wrenches ranging between 12 millimeters to 19, because the front section of the suspension there for the sway bar, one's 12, one's 13. There's numerous 14s. I don't really recall the 16, but have it just in case.
19s and 18s, definitely. And yeah, then you might need them for a cheater. One of the most irritating things about servicing the front end of this will be lining back up the upper A-arm to get the bolts to line up. It is the most infuriating aspect of working on this car because the bolting point is in the engine bay, and there's really no way to tell when it lines up. So that's that. I'm gonna try to walk you up here to where I have this coilover that is currently binding up as we clean all of this up. It's binding up, and I don't know if it can thread down more here. It's not moving. So we'll approach this another way in a moment. And just for other shenanigans, I'll go show you the brakes that the plans for the brakes. So give me a moment. These are the brakes off of the LS 460. And yeah, there you go. Pair them in here. So yeah, upgrading, and we're future proofing, so to speak. But we'll see how this all goes as the items comes in and we change out all of this. But this is what's going on, fellas. You know, down the rabbit hole, dumb things. But thanks for checking out the channel. I bid you adieu.